The stone leaves my sling. Time slows down. I can see it spinning through the air, hear the wind whistling past it. 9 feet of muscle and armor stands before me. Goliath, the champion of the Philistines. His laughter still echoes across the valley. But in 3 seconds, everything will change. You want to know how a shepherd boy ends up here? How I'm standing in the valley of Elah, facing a giant that's made grown warriors wet themselves for 40 days. Let me take you back to where it all started. In the hills, with the sheep, and the things that came to kill them. My name is David, son of Jesse, youngest of 8 brothers. While they trained with swords and spears, I got stuck with the family business. Sheep. Hundreds of them. Stupid, defenseless, wandering sheep. You think that sounds boring? You've never seen what comes out of the wilderness at night. I was 15 the first time I heard it. That low growl that makes your blood turn to ice. Lion. The flock scattered, bleeding, panicking. And there it was. Golden eyes in the darkness, muscles rippling under its mane. It had one of my lambs in its jaws, my father's lamb. My hands were shaking. My sling felt like a toy. Every instinct screamed, run, but I didn't. You know why? Because that lamb wasn't mine to lose. I loaded a stone, my first stone. The lion turned, saw me. A scrawny kid with a leather strap. It smiled. Then it charged. 20 feet, 15, 10. I released. The stone hit its skull so hard I heard bone shatter. The beast dropped mid-leap, slid to a stop at my feet. But it was still breathing, still dangerous. So I did what had to be done. I grabbed it by its mane, and I finished it, with my bare hands. That night, I learned something. Size doesn't matter. Speed doesn't matter. What matters is who you're fighting for. After the lion, I changed. I stopped seeing the hills as a prison. I started seeing them as a training ground. Every day I practiced. Sling, stones, targets, birds in flight, rocks at 100 paces, moving targets. I could hit a dove's eye from 50 feet. My brothers laughed, called me the pebble thrower. But I knew something they didn't. A sling isn't a toy. In the right hands, it's a weapon of war. Ancient armies used slingers as their deadliest ranged units. A stone from a sling travels at 90 miles per hour. That's faster than most arrows, with enough force to crack skulls, shatter bones. I wasn't playing games in those hills. I was becoming a weapon. Then came the bear. It was winter. Food was scarce. A massive brown bear, 8 feet tall when it stood, came for the flock. This time, I didn't hesitate. 3 stones, 3 shots. First stone, shoulder. Slowed it down. Second stone, ribs. Broke its charge. Third stone, skull. Ended it. The sheep didn't even scatter. They'd learned to trust me. And I'd learned to trust something bigger than myself. See, every time I faced those beasts, I wasn't alone. I'd pray. Simple prayers. Lord, guide my hand. Protect your flock. And he did. Every single time. The Philistines invaded. King Saul called for warriors. My 3 oldest brothers answered. They marched off to war with their armor shining, swords gleaming. I stayed behind, with the sheep. Weeks passed. Then my father called me. David, take food to your brothers. See how they're doing. I packed grain, bread, cheese. Started the journey to the valley of Elah. When I arrived at the camp, something was wrong. Thousands of Israelite soldiers, armed, ready. But they weren't fighting. They were hiding, cowering in their tents. "What's going on?" I asked a soldier. He pointed across the valley, and that's when I saw him. Goliath. 9 feet, 9 inches of pure terror. Bronze armor covering every inch. A spear like a weaver's beam. And he was laughing, mocking us, mocking our God.
"Send me your champion! Let's settle this like men!"
40 days. He'd been doing this for 40 days. And not one Israelite had the courage to face him. I felt something rise in my chest. Not fear, rage.
What are you doing here? What are you watching the sheep? I know your pride. You just came to watch the battle.
But I wasn't there to watch. I was there to fight. Word reached King Saul.
"There's a boy asking to fight Goliath."
"A boy?"
They brought me to his tent. Saul looked at me. This kid, this shepherd.
"You can't fight him. You're just a boy. He's been a warrior since his youth."
I met his eyes. "Your Majesty, I've been keeping my father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and carried off a lamb, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the lamb from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God."
"Go, and may the Lord be with you."
He tried to give me his armor. Bronze helmet, coat of mail, sword. I put it on. Couldn't move, couldn't breathe. "I cannot go in these. I'm not used to them." I took it all off, picked up my staff, my sling, walked to the stream. 5 smooth stones. That's all I needed. 5 stones, and faith in the God who'd never let me down. I walked into the valley, alone. Behind me, thousands of Israelite soldiers watched in silence. Ahead of me, the Philistine army roared with laughter. And in the center, Goliath.
"Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals!"
He saw me coming. His laughter shook the ground. I kept walking, steady, focused.
You come against me with sword and spear and javelin.
My voice carried across the valley.
But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty.
"This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands," I shouted. "And I'll strike you down and cut off your head. Then the whole world will know there is a God in Israel." He charged. The ground shook with every step. His armor clanged. His spear gleamed. 9 feet of death coming straight at me. I reached into my bag. 1 stone. Loaded my sling. Started spinning. Faster. Faster. The wind howled. My heart pounded. But my hands? Steady as stone. Goliath raised his spear. 30 feet. 20. 15. I released. Time froze. The stone flew straight and true, 90 miles per hour, guided by the hand of God. It hit him right between the eyes, where his helmet didn't protect. The giant crashed to the earth. The valley shook. Dust rose in clouds. Silence. Complete, total silence. I walked forward, stood over him. This giant who'd terrorized an army for 40 days. He was still breathing, barely. I grabbed his own sword, heavy, massive, raised it high. "The battle is the Lord's," I said, and I brought it down. The Philistine army stared in disbelief. Their champion, their unstoppable warrior, dead. Killed by a boy with a rock. Then they ran. Panic, chaos, complete rout. And the Israelites? They erupted. 40 days of fear transformed into fury. They charged down the valley, chasing the Philistines all the way back to their cities. Victory. Complete, total victory. I stood there, covered in dust and blood, holding Goliath's head. My brothers found me. Eliab, who'd mocked me hours before, couldn't speak. The soldiers lifted me on their shoulders, chanting my name, "David! David! David!" But I wasn't thinking about glory. I was thinking about the hills, the sheep, the lion, the bear. Every moment God had prepared me for this. King Saul called me to his palace that day. My life as a shepherd was over. But my life as a warrior? It had just begun. People ask me how I did it. How a 15-year-old shepherd boy defeated a 9-foot giant. The answer's simple. I didn't. God did. I was just the stone in his sling. See, Goliath made a mistake. He looked at me and saw weakness, saw a boy, saw easy prey. But he didn't see who was standing behind me. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God who parts seas and topples walls. The God who uses the weak to shame the strong. That's the secret. It's not about your size. It's not about your strength. It's not about your training or your armor. It is about God.